Let's dive deep into the 2025 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. And not just from the front of the grid, but through the middle of the pack, the psychology of each driver, the implications for the championship, and the sheer unpredictability this race has in store. This isn't just 5 things to watch for. This is a full hour of everything that could unfold when the lights go out in Jeddah. Because if qualifying taught us anything, it's that we're in for an absolute classic. Saturday night qualifying gave us a reminder of why we love this sport. Max Verstappen clinched pole position by a mere 0.010 seconds, and that wasn't down to a fluke. It was precision, mastery, and razor-thin margins coming together in a lap that only Verstappen, in his current form, could pull off. But here's the thing, he had to be that good, because Oscar Piastri wasn't backing down. The young Australian continues to defy expectations, and this weekend, he came within a whisper of pole. It would have been his 3rd of the season. Add George Russell into the mix, and suddenly, we had 3 drivers from 3 different teams gunning for the top spot with everything on the line. Verstappen might be the obvious favorite, especially considering that every Grand Prix winner this year, including Lewis Hamilton in the Shanghai Sprint, started from pole. But Jeddah isn't Suzuka. You can overtake here. It's narrow and unforgiving, but there are straights, DRS zones, and brave corners where daring drivers can force a move. So don't expect Verstappen to cruise away. This one's going to be a fight. What's remarkable about Piastri isn't just his raw pace. It's how quickly he's matured into someone capable of leading a race, absorbing pressure, and learning from every session. He was inches from pole today, but what's more important is his mindset. Piastri is starting second, and he knows Verstappen isn't invincible. Not here. He doesn't need to beat Verstappen into turn 1. He needs to apply pressure consistently and wait for the narrow margins of Jeddah to claim their next victim. Piastri has that cool, calculating mindset, and in a McLaren that's looked fast on long runs, he might just be poised for a career-defining win. If he does pull it off, it won't just be a great story for McLaren fans. It'll be a genuine shift in the narrative of the 2025 title race. Charles Leclerc starts 4th. Not a bad place to be, on paper, but in the post-qualifying interviews, you could see the frustration. He gave it everything, extracted the maximum from his Ferrari, and he was still more than 3/10 off Verstappen. Leclerc knows the Ferrari might lack a bit of raw pace, especially over race distance. But he's also no stranger to outperforming the car. He finished 3rd in Jeddah last year under similar circumstances, and he's got his eyes on the podium again. That said, he'll need to hold position off the line and stay clear of trouble, because behind him, the grid is stacked with drivers who are fast, motivated, and tired of playing support roles. Let's talk about Lando Norris. His qualifying ended in the wall, a brutal mistake in turn 4, just when things were starting to look promising. He had been building confidence through each session and was genuinely in the fight for pole. Now he starts from 10th. For a driver leading the championship, with both Verstappen and Piastri breathing down his neck, it's not ideal. But here's what you need to remember. Lando is resilient. Just 1 week ago in Bahrain, he was frustrated after qualifying, yet still fought his way into podium contention. In Jeddah, in a car that suits high-speed circuits and gives him the ability to overtake, Lando has every opportunity to climb through the field again. And make no mistake, he has to. If Verstappen wins and Piastri finishes second, the entire championship order could be reshuffled. He needs a flawless race, a bold strategy, and a little bit of luck. And when it comes to Lando, that's when he's at his best. Here's a sentence we didn't think we'd be saying this season. Carlos Sainz could be one of the biggest threats in Jeddah. But here we are. After back-to-back solid qualifying performances, Sainz starts from 6th. And in a Williams that's been trimmed out for straight-line speed. He could be a nightmare for faster cars trying to pass. The car setup is a gamble. It'll chew through tires in the corners, but on the straights, it's a rocket. That means Sainz could become a mobile roadblock. Think about it. If Norris, Hamilton, or even Leclerc get stuck behind him for several laps, their entire race strategies could unravel. And if Sainz can manage tire degradation and keep it clean, he could pull off a top 5 finish that would shake up the constructor standings. Lewis Hamilton's qualifying wasn't headline-grabbing, but it was quietly effective. He starts 7th, and unlike an FP3, the car looked drivable, maybe even responsive. The key to his race lies in the first few laps. He's behind Sainz and Kimi Antonelli, a driver whose qualifying performances have been impressive, but whose racecraft is still being tested at this level. If Hamilton can clear them early, he'll be in a strategic position to fight for the podium. But if he gets stuck, he risks tire degradation, lost time, in a race spent battling in the midfield instead of fighting up front. Behind the headlines, there are stories brewing. Pierre Gasly starts ninth and looks genuinely comfortable. Yuki Tsunoda is just ahead of him and will be desperate to convert qualifying pace into race points. And then there's Liam Lawson, finally finding his rhythm with the Racing Bulls after a tough return to F1. Lawson out-qualified teammate Isaac Hadjar for the first time and will start just outside the top 10. That puts him in striking distance, and with confidence building, don't be surprised if he's fighting for points late in the race. Alex Albon also lurks just outside Q3. Timing hurt his qualifying, but he knows how to pull off bold moves when it counts. In a chaotic race, he's exactly the kind of driver who could benefit from a well-timed safety car. Jeddah is a masterpiece of tension and velocity. It's the world's fastest street circuit, a place where the walls kiss your tires and every corner can end your race. There's no room for hesitation, no margin for error. It's why we've seen 5 safety cars in 4 races here since 2021. And it's why teams are biting their nails when it comes to strategy. This year, Pirelli's brought the softest compounds, C3, C4, and C5, making tire degradation a massive factor. A one-stop might not be viable. That opens the door to strategy roulette. A two-stop might be faster, but only if you avoid getting trapped in traffic or being caught out by a safety car at the wrong moment. You can have the fastest car and still lose everything here. It's why Jeddah turns drivers into heroes or heartbreaks. So, when the lights go out in Jeddah, don't blink. Because no matter how predictable the grid looks, no matter how strong Verstappen seems, or how far Norris has to climb, nothing is certain here. Piastri could make history. Sainz could spoil the party. Safety cars, tire degradation, strategy blunders, or one misjudged braking point. Any of it can flip the narrative in an instant. This race is about more than just points, it's about character. It's where reputations are made, where titles can be shaped, and where drivers like Norris, Piastri, and even Lawson can show they're not just surviving in Formula One. They're here to lead its future. So whether you're a McLaren faithful, a Tifosi, or a neutral just here for the thrill, buckle up. Because Jeddah isn't just another race. It's a proving ground, a gauntlet, a spectacle. And no matter how it ends, we'll be talking about it for weeks to come. Subscribe if you haven't already, because this season, we're not just watching races. We're living them together. Hello, McLaren faithfuls. Stand a chance of winning $1,000 by hitting that like button, drop a comment below, and subscribe so you never miss any McLaren and F1 updates with relaxing ASMR elements. McLaren Faithful's YouTube channel is now covered in English and multiple languages. Your support is what keeps this incredible community growing stronger every day. It costs you nothing to like and subscribe, but it helps the channel tremendously. Let's continue the conversation and share our passion for McLaren and F1 together. As a YouTube member, you can also discover my journey as a passionate creator navigating life with challenging disabilities. Despite the obstacles, I'm determined to follow my dreams and share my love for McLaren and F1 with the world. By becoming a YouTube member, you'll not only be supporting my dream, but you'll also gain access to exclusive content, including untold stories of legendary F1 drivers and much more. Your support can truly make a difference in my life, helping me continue to do what I love. Join McLaren Faithful's membership below and enjoy.